It's recording now. Do you see anything?
No.
Hi, I'm Sydney.
Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Kat.
And we're the Wandering Jew. We are a women-led collective that celebrates the diversity of Jewish stories through food.
So we can't be together right now, obviously, because of COVID. We're all social distancing in our homes in different areas of Montreal, but we cannot wait to be together again, cooking in the kitchen, holding our workshops, and seeing all of you in person.
We all love Montreal Bagels, and we're very excited to be able to have Kat, who's going to show you how to make our Montreal Bagels at home, wherever you are.
I am so excited to be making our Montreal bagel recipe for you today. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna start off by getting the yeast all activated and frothy. And this forms the base of any good bagel recipe.
Since arriving in Montreal in the early 1900s, bagels have become an iconic food. Bagel bakeries in Montreal are open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. No matter what time it is, you can always get a bagel in this city, and it is a quintessential Montreal experience to eat a very warm, delicious bagel late at night after having gone out. Montreal bagels are sweeter, denser, and coated in more seeds than New York bagels, and we know that our Montreal bagels are the very best in the whole world.
So I'm gonna put my dry active yeast in a large bowl. Then I'm gonna add in some sugar. And on top of that, I'm gonna add some water. And you want the water to be a little warmer than your body temperature so that it activates the yeast and gets it all nice and frothy. So I'm gonna let this sit in the bowl for about 5 minutes until it's foamy and there are bubbles on the surface. It's good to cuddle your bowl. All right, so the yeast sat for 5 minutes and now it's all nice and frothy. And we're gonna go ahead and add in our other ingredients. I'm gonna add the oil, which is canola oil. Next, we're gonna add in some maple syrup. Bagels usually contain malt syrup, but we decided to add maple syrup to our dough recipe as a nod to Montreal and to Quebec, where maple syrup is present in everyone's kitchen. Some salt and an egg. And now we're gonna mix this all up so it's all combined. I'm gonna start adding in the flour, just a bit at a time, and until we get a scraggy dough. And the flour we're using here is all-purpose flour. You're gonna get a nice arm workout as you're mixing this up. Okay, so now we're at the stage where we have a shaggy dough. I'm gonna show you that. Now we're gonna turn the dough out onto the counter, and I'm gonna start kneading it until we get a smooth dough. And you'll probably also wanna add some extra flour to the counter so your dough doesn't stick, because it's still pretty sticky at this point. And we're gonna wanna knead this for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna get all those little bits of dough off my hand. Okay, this is looking good. I'm gonna keep going for maybe a minute or two more. Okay, so the kneading's done and you can see that the dough is nice and smooth. And now I'm gonna let it rest in a large, lightly oiled bowl with a tea towel over it for about 30 to 45 minutes. And you wanna make sure it's in a warm place. So I like to put mine in the oven with the oven light on.
The two oldest and most iconic bagel shops in the city are St-Viateur Bagel and Fairmount Bagel, where bagels are still rolled by hand and baked in wood-fired ovens. Montrealers and frequent visitors to Montreal have their allegiance to one of these iconic bagel shops, and it is usually determined by where your personal family bought bagels when you were growing up, or where someone first ate bagels when they came to the city. But of course, no one's going to turn down a fresh bagel from either of these amazing bakeries.
So my family has bagels every single Sunday morning. We do a bagel brunch. We've been doing it forever. If we're not in the same place, we all have our bagel brunch wherever we are. I don't know if you can hear my baby screaming in the background. We feel very strongly about bagels. We feel very strongly about where we get our bagels. So we're Montrealers, so we usually get our bagels from St-Viateur. We had a moment where we were getting them from Fairmount, but now we're back to St-Viateur.
So here we have the dough that's risen for 45 minutes. So you can see it's almost doubled in size. And now I'm gonna punch it down gently and take it out of the bowl. I'm gonna divide the dough into 12 pieces. I like to divide the dough in half and then divide each half into 6. Now we have 6 roughly equal pieces, and I'm gonna start rolling them up. So I'm gonna take one of the pieces, and what you wanna do is you wanna use your hands and kind of evenly get it into a rope. And then using both of your hands, you're gonna start from the inside of the rope and work your way out to the ends to roll the dough evenly. And you're gonna wanna get a rope that's about 8 to 10 inches long. And once you're there, you bring the 2 ends together and press them together a little bit. Put the end under your palm and then roll your palm over the ends that were attached together. And there you go. You have a rolled bagel. If you work at one of the bagel shops in the city, you become an expert at this, and the people that work there can roll way faster than I could ever do. And they probably roll at least, like 10 a minute. One day I'll get there. And I'm gonna keep doing that until I have 12 bagels. I've rolled all the bagels. We have 12 beautiful bagels, and now we're gonna go ahead and boil them. So I have my pot of boiling water, and we're gonna add some honey to the pot. This is some really nice local Quebec honey. And adding the honey to the water gives these bagels their signature sweetness and a nice crispy crust. So I'm gonna stir that honey up, and I'm going to add in 4 bagels. You don't wanna crowd the pot too much. And we're gonna boil them for a minute and a half, and we're gonna turn them halfway through. The boiling step is really what makes a bagel a bagel. If you didn't boil them, they wouldn't be bagels. And what the hot water does is it kills the yeast on the surface of the bagel so that when you bake it, the bagel won't puff up and it'll hold its shape. Great, so now we're gonna go ahead and flip the bagels over and boil them for another 45 seconds. And now we're gonna take them out of the pot and put them into our prepared plate of sesame seeds. You could also top your bagels with poppy seeds or everything bagel spice mix. But I'm going classic here. So let them sit in the sesame seeds for a sec to let them cool until you can handle them. And then flip them over and coat them on the other side. And then put them on your prepared baking sheet that has a piece of parchment paper on it. So I've seeded all my bagels. It's important to get lots of seeds on your Montreal bagels. And now we're gonna bake them for 20 minutes at 425, and we're gonna rotate the pan halfway through. And I'm very on brand tonight. I have my matzo ball. What's it called?
Oven mitt?
Oven mitt. No, it's an oven, like a pot holder. It's actually not something you should use in the oven, but it's very cute. And our bagels are ready. Look at these golden beauties. I wish you could all smell them. And there you have it, a Montreal bagel. So easy to make and even easier to eat.
How we eat bagels in Montreal is iconic, of course. We don't use them as sandwiches like many people do in New York, although that's delicious too. It's just a bit different. The whole of a Montreal bagel is too big, so you can't really make a structurally sound sandwich. So they're either eaten by being ripped apart and dipped straight into cream cheese or lox spread or anything else that's dippable, or they're cut in half and then topped with cream cheese and lox, and then any of your accoutrements like onions and tomatoes and capers, and that's how you eat an iconic Montreal bagel.
We always eat our bagels on Sunday morning fresh, but I have this apparently incredibly hot take, which is that the best food in the world, best food in the world is a toasted, formerly frozen bagel. It's a magic food. Wow. There is nothing better.
There's nothing better than a fresh Montreal bagel.
Thanks so much for watching. Definitely find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Wandering Chew. Tag us in all your bagel videos and photos. We will definitely repost. And check out our website, wanderingchew.ca, for our recipe archive, all the announcements about our virtual workshops, and just a great place to keep in touch. Everyone stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.